Hi, I'm Teresa Quinlan, your EQ executive coach, all things emotional intelligence and leadership. In this particular video, you're going to get the nugget in the first few minutes. That's how I generally coach leaders and professionals, ranging from mid-level to C-suite, from construction to medical. I've worked with leaders across North America and Europe. And everyone wants the same thing. They want bold, effective, clear, concise strategies that when you use them, immediately they have power. It's going to be tempting to want to leave and move on as soon as you hear what the nugget is in the first few minutes. And that would be a pretty bad move, because the back half of this video addresses the 3 skills you're going to need to execute, the skills that will change your life. And that's why you showed up to watch this video in the first place, because the tagline, why would anyone want to stop caring in the first place? The problem isn't caring. The problem is found when you use the words too much. Too much, let's put them in quotations, it signals that you're in an emotional deficit, that you're feeling the impact of your caring. It's causing you pain, it's causing you suffering, because when you're caring about other people in a way that sacrifices yourself and your needs, then you experience the deficit. Your caring becomes your emotional dysregulation. When you take care of other people, perhaps they're taking advantage of you. They don't reciprocate. They keep asking you for more and more and more, and you start to feel used. And so what do? You want to stop your caring so you can stop the feeling. Now, here's the tough thing that you're going to need to hear. And what you're getting used to when you watch my videos is you need to hear the tough thing, because this is what brings you to the fire of your emotional intelligence skills. The tough thing is the problem isn't their behaviors. It's never going to be their behaviors. The problem is that you allow their behaviors. You allow them to continue utilizing their behaviors. You haven't established boundaries for how you will accept being treated by other people. You let them walk all over you. You let them take advantage of you. That's the nugget. That's the most important thing that you need to hear. And beyond that, really beyond that is what you're going to stick around for. It's because it's acknowledging that the problem is you, it's not them. And just knowing that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to do anything differently yet. And as you've learned when you're watching my videos, grab your pen, grab your paper, grab your notebook, because I'm going to guide you through a framework of cognitive commitment, self-regard, and assertiveness. These 3 skills. And this is how you take control and ownership over the experience that you're having. So that ultimately what you can do is you can care about people in a way that you want to care about them, and you can stand up for yourself in the process, so that your solution isn't just to stop caring anymore, because that's not really going to feel very authentic to you. Okay, let's dive in. Step 1, cognitive commitment. That's an internal mental alignment. And that leads you to consistently being able to self-regulate your behaviors. You sort of have to decide you're done tolerating or avoiding or justifying how people treat you when you demonstrate caring for them. And I put my hand here because this is where we reach a limit. In cognitive commitment, you decide you're no longer going to be taken advantage of. You're no longer going to sacrifice your needs for other people who aren't reciprocating for you. You're deciding that you're going to stand up for yourself. Because often that's the first thing that's missing. When you're moving to, I care too much, now I should just stop caring. What's lacking is this powerful cognitive commitment. And there is a need for us to reach the I've had it up to here limit with ourselves. Basically, you just can't tolerate your own BS anymore. You know, your own BS that you can't take care of yourself and take care of other people. Your own BS that you can't say no to taking care of your aging parents and have a night for yourself. Your own BS that you can't stand up for yourself in the boardroom and ask for that raise or promotion. That you can't defend yourself when someone interrupts you in that meeting. Again, really listen to this. It's not about stopping the caring element that is you. It's about stopping playing the victim. And this oomph to your cognitive commitment is essential for follow through. If you don't have it, if you don't ground yourself in deciding what you're not going to do anymore, your actions won't be different. So here's what cognitive commitment sounds like. It sounds like this. I'm done criticizing myself when my boss makes a passive-aggressive comment about my contributions. Here's another one. I'm done choosing to emotionally eating when my spouse makes a snide remark about my body. And here's another example. I'm done playing the victim when I choose to take care of other people instead of doing something for me. So can you hear in that what cognitive commitment actually is? It states that you're done doing and feeling something that reinforces you're the victim, that it's happening to you. And life isn't happening to you. You are 100% in the driver's seat of your life. So I'm going to ask you to write your cognitive commitment or commitments. You might have more than one you need to make. And pause the video and take time to write them down. Step 2 in our 3 steps is self-regard. And self-regard is an emotional intelligence skill. It lives in our self-perception realm of emotional intelligence. It's about respecting ourselves. It's associated with feelings of inner strength, self-confidence. But to have inner strength and self-confidence, you have to notice when you're playing the victim or playing the martyr. And the mindset you need to adopt is one that I just mentioned. Life is not happening to me. It's happening for me. Let's say it together. Life is not happening to me. It's happening for me. In moments when you choose to care for other people, you need to recognize that you're making an active choice, that in this moment you're deciding to put your needs aside and care for someone else because that's meaningful to you. You're choosing to act in accordance with potentially what are your core values. And in moments when you're choosing to care for someone that doesn't demonstrate appreciation back or takes advantage of you, you need to also recognize that their behaviors don't have anything to do with you. You also don't need to tolerate them, that you can stand up for yourself, that you can ask for what it is that you're looking for in this relationship. So then you could actually decide if you want to continue carrying out the caring for something that doesn't come back to you with reciprocity. So your self-regard boils down to the relationship that you have with yourself. And more importantly, 2 specific elements within that relationship. The first is, how do you talk to yourself within every moment of every day? And the second is, how do you learn to say yes to yourself and no to other people? So grab your notebook again, because we're going to have to do some work here. The first step is, how are you talking to yourself within every moment of every day? And when we think about our self-awareness in this aspect, you're going to have to think about paying attention to the things that you say to yourself in the situations we're talking about. Write those thoughts down and then start to really challenge them. Which thoughts sound like the victim, the martyr, maybe even the villain? Which thoughts are true, are measurable, are objective? And which thoughts, here's the key, are just made up? Their stories, their predictions, their assumptions. Even as you track and pay attention to the things that you say in your head about yourself, how you're talking to yourself, you're going to notice, do you usually talk to yourself in the mindset of life is happening to me? Or are you thinking of it as life is happening for me? And those 2 perspectives of beliefs, to me or for me, they don't just feel different in your body, they sound different in how you talk to yourself. And as you track, pay attention to in these particular situations, and use your journal to really capture this, you're going to notice the trends of your thinking. And once you notice it, then you can start to challenge it, and then you can start to change things. No more victim, instead ownership, empowerment. Start thinking differently, and then you start doing differently. And that brings us to number 3, assertiveness. So assertiveness is saying no. And before we move to this saying no, You can pause the video and you can capture some of your self-regard statements. You can pause the video and be able to say, like, what are these things I'm saying to myself in the situations where I think I'm caring too much and I want to stop caring? So let me give you an example. A close friend asks you to help them move next weekend, Saturday, 9 till 5, and you already have some other plans on that Saturday. An incremental step to flexing your no muscle is to use a variation of the word no. So part of our self-regard is our ability to say no. And no can be a complete sentence on its own, but no can also have these variations of no, not at that time, no, not with those people, no, not on that day, variations. So in the ask to move on Saturday from 9 to 5, for which you already have plans, flexing your no muscle could be using one of the variations. It sounds like, hey friend, I can help you from 11 to 1 on Saturday. Will you be at your old place or your new place by 11? You see how you're standing up for yourself? You're standing up for the fact that you already have plans that day. You're not defending yourself. You're not over-explaining yourself to them about everything you got going on, asking permission if it's okay if you only help from 11 to 1. You're basically just saying, like, here's what I can do. Here's how I can help. Where are you going to be at 11 so I know where to show up? Another example of positive self-regard, of really believing in yourself, is when your boss asks you to stay late to get a presentation deck done for a client meeting the next morning at 10. And you have your son's game right after work. You can't miss it. An incremental step to flexing your no muscle is being able to say to your boss, I've got a commitment tonight that can't be moved. I can, however, start earlier tomorrow morning and have the deck to you by 9. That's a soft, incremental no. A hard no would sound like this. Boss, I've got a commitment tonight that can't be moved. Who else can help you with the presentation deck? Self-regard, when we think about our ability to hold boundaries, to stand up for yourself, it first means you have to believe you're worth standing up for. Now, this takes us to step number 3 around assertiveness. So far we've done cognitive commitment. We've talked about how to amplify your self-regard, and now we're moving into this third skill of assertiveness. Boundaries are never as hard as you fear them to be, and you might actually know this from your own experiences. Yet, without boundaries, we fall into the trap of swinging the pendulum, and the pendulum has opposite directions to it, that the only option is to stop caring. And it's such a misplaced belief, because how is not caring going to make a difference? Really, it's just going to feel like crap, because not caring is not you. So you see how that as an option is really just going to cause more additional suffering for you. It's going to violate your own value system. Sometimes it just feels like, well, that's the easy way out, so maybe that's what I'll do. But the easy way out is not a long-term plan. Much harder is to face the fear that you have around establishing boundaries and standing up for yourself. And sometimes that's because the error that we make about boundaries is telling the other person what we need them to do or not do. But boundaries is really about what you will do. Boundaries require nothing from the other person. So when my boss promised me a promotion after achieving clearly established goals, and then they didn't honor the promotion and move the goalposts, I had a choice. I could suck it up, or I could establish a boundary. I chose to establish a boundary because I know what happens when I suck things up. I said to my boss, these new goals, when I achieve them, I will expect you to honor the promotion. And if you choose the same next time, to not honor the promotion and move the goalposts, then I will submit my resignation. Now, when we got to that next time, she chose the same. She didn't honor the promotion, and she tried to move the goalposts a second time. And I held my boundary, and I submitted my resignation. She was shocked. The first words out of her mouth was, "What can I do to make you stay?" And my response was very simply, "Nothing now." Every boundary that you establish must be something you're willing to follow through with. I didn't set this boundary with my boss because in the heat of the moment, I was angry and I thought, what's the worst I can say that'll make her do something different? I set that boundary because I knew I would follow through with it. and I'm not in the business of giving ultimatums. So don't set boundaries you won't hold firm to. Here's a good time where you can pause the video again and write down at least one boundary that you need to establish. Write how you want to communicate it, just like a script. And then if that boundary is violated, write down how you are willing to follow through. And make a commitment, a cognitive commitment, to put this boundary in place in the next 24 hours. Let me remind you, it's not about stopping caring. It's about claiming responsibility that you're letting things happen to you and then getting upset about it instead of doing something about it. Today marks the end to all of that. When you act on these 3 skills, you give yourself the scaffolding: cognitive commitment, self-regard, assertiveness, the scaffolding to actually make a change in this area of your life. Until next time, remember this: if you're not changing it, you're choosing it.